All right, wanted to do another update video. So I'm making some progress, obviously not on the pace that I'd like, but that's usually how these projects go. My new job, as I said in a previous video, I think is keeping me busy about 60 hours a week out in the sun. And so I'm not used to it, just drains me. I'm not used to that. So I'm trying to adjust to that. Work on this thing mostly on the weekends, but sometimes after work too. I think I'm going to try to put in a couple hours here and there. So I've got that steel frame up for the topper. Um, there's more steel I got to put in there. I've got to put in some angles and some more supports, but that's just the outline. And dang, that thing is tall. I didn't quite realize how tall 3 feet was really going to be. Which, I'm really going to appreciate having that space on the inside. But on the outside, I mean, I'm going to try to make it look nice. I'm going to try to, get the everything nice curves and have it painted, have it look real nice. But it's going to be big, and there's a couple concerns I have with that. I want to be careful about how much steel and how much stuff I'm throwing up there because all of this is going to, create some weight and make the van very top heavy, which, depending on driving habits of whoever's driving it, isn't a huge deal. You just have to take turns a little bit slower because top heavy vehicle. I mean, the job that I'm doing now, change over to this is I'm using the shop for my new job to work on the van, which my boss is really awesome, letting me use the shop so I don't blind people with my welding. Um, but these vehicles that I'm driving for work now, they're gravel trucks that have a conveyor belt on the bottom and swing arm that swings out with a conveyor belt to shoot out rock, primarily rock. We can do topsoil and other things too, but these things are really top heavy because you've got this angled bed and all of this rock sits up high. So I know about driving something that's top heavy. I can do it. I don't know if Heather's going to be comfortable with it, but it's you can drive it. So my original thought was to build a shelf, as it were, in that topper to put an air conditioner in, and have the vent, or for the whatever, the compressor coil, whatever, on the outside, for that air conditioner to work. But I'm not sure if I want to do that now because that air conditioner, on top of everything else, again, is going to help make that vehicle really top heavy. So I'm looking at some other options as to where I can put that air conditioner that I'll be happy with. I could try to put it on the floor somewhere, and I'm going to try to get some kind of vent to cover up the back of the air conditioner so it just doesn't look tacky from the outside. But I'm not sure. I might still try to put it up on top. I might center it right above the windshield, and cover it with a vent there. I don't know. That would kind of look kind of weird too. So I don't know. I'm going to play with some ideas. Maybe, but see, I don't want to do it on the very back because that's where the kids' bunks are going to be, and they're going to freeze to death. Me putting that air conditioner on them, and I'm the one that likes it cold at night. The kids probably wouldn't like it that cold, so I like the air conditioner closer to me. It'd be nice to have the air conditioner up high, because hot air rises, and so it'd be nice to cool the air that's up high, but not if it's going to make the vehicle more top heavy. So I'm going to pause here today, and I'm going to take the van back home, and I'm going to brainstorm with the wife, get her thoughts and opinions, since she's going to be the one, living in this thing with me, and see what she thinks as to where she'd like things. And we'll poke at it a little while longer. I'm going to do a center beam. See if I can get my finger in the right place. I'm going to do a center spine. That's going to go that way, all the way through the whole structure. And I might elevate that a little bit. I mean, it's going to be at the same attachment point on the hood, but I might elevate it a little bit, through the whole structure, just to create some curve, not so the roof isn't flat. So in the wintertime, when snow piles up on it, it's going to eventually shift off rather than just kind of accumulating up there. Um, and just because more curves and less flat surfaces kind of has its own visual appeal as well. So that's the plan. And then some more angles I'm going to put in for structural support. I've got to be careful because I've got a ceiling fan that vents out the top that I'm going to mount in the center. So I've got to make sure I leave space for that. With that center spine, I've got to break that in the middle so that I can put that fan in there. And let's see what else. I've got 4 windows that I'm going to be putting in on the sides. And so I've got to decide where those are going and make sure I leave space for those. And in amongst all of that and everything, I've got lots more steel I can throw up there, but like I said, I want to be careful about how much more I do. And it really doesn't need much more because, that steel it's not going to be holding up a lot of weight. I just need, and I don't want it to be too heavy. And it's going to have some pretty thick, heavy duty wood up there too. That's going to give it a lot of structural support. So I could really, if I wanted to, stop where I am and just put the wood on it and call it good. I'd like it a little bit stronger, and I'd like that center spines to give it some more shape. And I'd like another support, at least one more support on the sides, and I'd like some angle, pieces to keep things from shifting one way or another. So yes, I want to put in more, but I want to be careful about how much more I put in. So slowly but surely the van's coming together. I might do a little bit more work this weekend. We'll see. And hopefully next weekend I'll have this all finalized and get started putting the wood up. And that should go pretty quick. I'm just going to be drilling holes and bolting it. And then I'm going to sand all the corners, get everything nice and smooth, get everything caulked and sealed. And then goes on the fiberglass cloth. And then the resin, which will waterproof everything between the fiberglass and the resin. And I did order more resin to cover everything, just to be safe. And then the topper will be done, but the journey won't be done. We've got a lot of interior work to do. We've kind of did a pre-built kitchen set that we're going to install. The seat's hopefully going to be on its way. It's going to be, I'm looking nasty and sweaty because it's a little warm in here. Hopefully the bench seat that turns into a bed for me and Heather will come in not too long. It's probably going to come in after we're going to be moved into the van, which is kind of crummy. So we're going to have to figure out something in the meantime. I'll get my freezer in there. I'm going to build some benches and shelves and stuff with wood. But Heather's kind of picky about what kind of materials we're using on the van. She doesn't want any treated wood because of off-gassing and other chemical stuff that's not good for you. So she wants to be really picky about what kind of materials we're using for the insulation and for the interior. So I'll have to find some really good, strong but thin interior wood that I can then either paint with a paint that she's happy with or stain with a stain that she's happy with. So we'll see how that goes. Thanks for sticking with me and letting me ramble on. And let me know what you think. Should be fun.